Today's episode of the More You Know podcast is brought to you by CrowdQuestion, a brand new social communication platform focused on connecting crowds to bring everyone closer to their community, as well as enhancing any occasion. Rather than being a social media platform focused on content and advertising, they're focused on communication and connection. Learn more about the platform and download the app free at crowdquestion.com.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
Today's
More
You
No
podcast.
Today I want to break down the two different types of pride and humility that Patrick Morley discusses in his book The Man in the Mirror. Pride and humility are both very interesting. They can both benefit you or negatively impact you, and it's purely dictated by your perspective on both of them. When you look at pride and humility in a way that benefits you, it does so in a multitude of ways, including with your relationships, your pursuits, your level of happiness and contentment, as well as your overall state of mind. And when they negatively impact you, they negatively impact all those things. And with this being said, you want to ensure you're looking at pride and humility in the right way, but you can only do this with the proper awareness on the two different forms of each. So I want to go through the two different forms of each that Patrick discusses in his book to clearly illuminate it for you. And I'm going to start with pride. So the first type of pride is the type of pride that negatively impacts you. It's a feeling of superiority and a comparison in which we compare our strengths to someone else's weaknesses. So for example, if you take pride in playing basketball, you'll look at somebody else who plays basketball and think that you play better than them, which makes you better than them, when in reality you're both human, and it's just a game. Now on the other hand, with the beneficial form of pride, you don't compare yourself to others, and instead, it's a form of self-examination where you're focused on getting better day by day. You look at yourself in the past, and you take pride in getting better day by day. And this goes along with the mindset of competing with yourself rather than competing with others. Now I want to go through the two different types of humility. The first form of humility which negatively impacts you is a form of self-deprecation. Here you create a negative self-image of yourself by comparing your weaknesses to your strengths, which is as harmful as thinking more highly of yourself than you ought to. And along with that, thinking too lowly of yourself will imprison your soul and limit you as a person. And an example of this could be an engineer who's not good with public speaking. When comparing it with his engineering skills, he could look at his lack of public speaking skills as a lack of talent as a whole and get down on himself. And on the other hand, with the proper type of humility that benefits yourself, it's not looking at yourself positively or negatively, and instead not thinking of yourself at all. And by not thinking of yourself in any form of comparison with others, you won't think more highly of yourself than you should. No matter who you are, pride and humility can either benefit you or hinder your life, and this is ultimately a balance that we all face, and something that can be handled with the proper perspective. Rather than comparing your strengths to other people's weaknesses, you should be focused on a comparison of yourself, surrounding self-improvement, and with humility. Rather than being self-deprecating and getting down on yourself, you should not think too little of yourself or too much of yourself, and do so by not really thinking about yourself in a comparative way. By doing so, you'll avoid arrogance and self-deprecation, and this will provide immense value to your life, improving virtually all aspects of your life. And along with that, it can also no doubt assist with making a tremendous impact in this world and crafting a life of significance. I hope this talk makes a positive impact in your life. Please subscribe to the podcast wherever you are listening or watching it. Check out other episodes. Leave a review. Follow the podcast on social media at More You Know Pod, and sign up for CrowdQuestion to ask me questions about the episode. Again, thank you for listening as we propel through podcasting with The More You Know.
I'm just trying to make it all make sense.
Today's
More
You
No
podcast.